September 30th, 2014, from Kaufman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, was the Oakland Athletics at the Kansas City Royals. Coco Chris led things off and he singled to open up the game. And then after Fuld lined out and Donaldson struck out swinging, Brandon Moss came to bat with 1 on and 2 out. And with an 0-1 count, Brandon Moss took Shields deep off a changeup for the home run to make it 2-0 Oakland. Shields retired Reddick, and the top of the first came to a close. Now in the bottom of the first, Escobar singled, but then Aoki grounded into a forced play, and Escobar was out at second with Aoki on first. Cain popped out to right, and up came Hosmer with 2 outs and Aoki on first. Aoki then stole second, and Hosmer would walk. This brought up Billy Butler. With the 3-1 count, Butler took a fastball to left for a single, and he drove in Aoki, and Hosmer advanced to third. So the score was now 2-1 as the Royals cut Oakland's lead in half. Hosmer would be caught stealing home, and the inning came to a close. So after 1 inning, the A's led the Royals 2-1. It was all pitching in the second, with only 1 man reaching base off a walk. The A's had 2 men on in the top of the third, but then Brandon Moss hit into a double play and Shields escaped the inning unscathed. Now in the bottom of the third, Moustakas singled to lead off, and then Escobar bunted Moustakas over to second. Aoki grounded out, and Moustakas was now on third. Lorenzo Cain then took the first pitch fastball to left for a double, and Moustakas came in to score and tie this game up at 2 runs apiece. Hosmer then came to bat, and down 0-1, he took a cutter to left as he singled in Cain from second, and the Royals were now in the lead with the score 3-2. Butler grounded out, and the inning came to a close. So now in the top of the fourth, the A's went up 3 up and 3 down, and Giovanni Soto was injured and had to leave the game. The Royals would also go 3 and out in the bottom half of the inning. Both teams would repeat that in the fifth, as they both went 3 up and 3 down. So after 5, it was still 3-2 Kansas City over Oakland. Now in the top of the sixth, the A's opened up this game. Fuld singled to start things off, then Donaldson walked. Shield was then taken out of the game with 2 on and no outs. Ventura would now face Brandon Moss, and after 2 balls, Moss took Ventura deep off a fastball, as Moss had now hit 2 home runs in this game. Fuld and Donaldson came across home, and Moss made it 3, as it was now 5-3 Oakland as they took back the lead. Josh Reddick then singled, and then a wild pitch allowed him to move to second before Jed Lowry popped out for the first out of the inning. Ventura was now taken out for Herrera. Buck popped out, and now Derek Norris came to bat with Reddick on third. Herrera was throwing heat, and Norris fouled off the first pitch. Then down 0-1, Norris took a 100-mile-per-hour fastball to center for a single to drive in Reddick, and it was now 6-3 Oakland. Sogard then singled, and Norris moved to second. Coco Crisp now came to bat and took the first pitch 99-mile-per-hour fastball to center, driving in Norris and moving Sogard to second. The score was now 7-3 Oakland. Fuld struck out, and the top of the sixth came to a close after Oakland had scored 5 runs in the inning to make it 7-3 A's over the Royals. The Royals went down in order in the bottom half of the inning, and neither team scored in the 7th. Now in the top of the 8th, Wade Davis came in to pitch for Herrera. Davis got the A's in order, and the Royals came up to the bottom half of the inning. Escobar singled to start off the bottom half of the 8th, and then Escobar stole second before Aoki grounded out and moved him to third. So now Escobar was on third with 1 out. Lorenzo Cain took a first pitch sinker and grounded up the middle of the center field for the single, and Escobar scored to make it 7-4 as the Royals began to chip away at the A's lead. Cain would steal second during Hosmer's at-bat, and then Hosmer walked. John Lester was now done for the night as Luke Gregerson came into the game. Billy Butler came to the plate, and after looking at a first pitch strike, he took a second slider in a row. This one he took to right as Cain scored and Hosmer moved to third. The score was now 7-5 as the Royals now trailed by just 2 runs. Alex Gordon came to bat, and Gregerson threw a wild pitch as Hosmer came in to score, and it was now a 1-run ball game with the score 7-6. Gordon would walk, but then Gregerson calmed down and struck out Perez and Infante to get out of the inning. So after 8 innings, it was now 7-6 with the A's in the lead over the Royals by just 1. Greg Holland came into the game to relieve Wade Davis for the Royals to pitch the ninth. Holland let up a couple of walks, and with Fuld on third and Moss on second, Jed Lowrie came to bat, but Holland got him to line out to right as the runners were stranded. So now it's the bottom of the ninth inning, and the season is on the line. Sean Doolittle relieves Gregerson for the A's, and Josh Willington comes up to bat for the Royals, and he led off with a single to right, and Jarrod Dyson is brought in as a pinch runner. Escobar then sacrificed Dyson over to second on a bunt, and Aoki came to bat, and Dyson stole third. So with 1 out and Dyson on third, Aoki sacrificed fly to right, and Dyson came in to score and tie this game up at 7-7. Cain lined out to short, and this game was headed to extra innings as the Royals managed to keep their season alive. Neither team scored in the 10th nor in the 11th inning, so now here we were in the 12th inning, and what an exciting inning this was. It started off with Josh Reddick drawing a walk. Jed Lowrie then bunted Reddick to second. Jason Frazier then came in to relieve Brandon Finnegan, who came into the game in the 10th inning. Gillespie pinch hit for Freeman, who had also come in the 10th. So Frazier threw a wild pitch, and Reddick moved to third. Gillespie was down 1-2 on the count. He took a fastball to left field and scored Reddick as the A's took the lead at 8-7. Norris then struck out and Nick Punto popped out, so it was 8-7 with just 3 outs remaining for the Royals to score or see their season come to a close. Lorenzo Cain came up to bat for the Royals in the bottom of the 12th, and he grounded out to lead off the inning. Eric Hosmer then came up to the plate. Hosmer had a 2-2 count, and then after fouling off a sinker, he took the next sinker, and he hit the ball all the way to the wall. Johnny Gomes and Sam Fuld had a beat on it, and they both jumped and they collided as the ball bounced above their heads and off the wall as Hosmer hustled for a stand-up triple. So what an amazing play. The crowd was now on their feet and going crazy as their fortunes had suddenly turned around. Christian Colon then came to the plate with Eric Hosmer just 90 feet away from tying this game. Colon hit a soft grounder for an infield single, and Hosmer came in to tie this game at 8 runs apiece. So the game was now tied up. Fernando Abad was now brought in for Dan Otero. Alex Gordon came to the plate and he popped out. Jason Hamill then came into the game for Abad. Salvador Perez then came to bat. Colon would steal second during the at-bat. Perez was down 1-2 in the count, and then he hit a ball to the hot corner, and Josh Donaldson, the all-star for the A's, dove for the ball, but it was just out of his reach, and it almost looked like the ball went through a hole in his glove. Colon came in to score, and the fans went wild as the Kansas City Royals win this game 9-8 in 12 innings. So Kansas City advances in this one-game wild-card playoff, and the Royals will now be facing the Angels on Thursday in the ALDS. And in this game, Escobar was 2 for 4. Lorenzo Cain was 2 for 6 with 2 RBIs. Hosmer was 3 for 4 with 1 RBI, 2 bases on balls, and 2 runs scored. Came up with that huge clutch triple there in the 12th. Butler was 2 for 4. He had 2 RBIs. Just an amazing game. Colon came in. He was 1 for 1. He scored the 1 run. He had the 1 RBI as he was very clutch. And Salvador Perez, who was 0 for 5 before coming up in the 12th inning and getting his only hit of the night, which was the biggest hit of the game and of the season for the Kansas City Royals, as he came through in the clutch, got that RBI, and they won it in a walk-off. Infante was also 2 for 5. Just an amazing performance by Kansas City. Shields only went 5 innings, but their bullpen did the rest. It's got an amazing effort from Finnegan, Holland, Davis, Herrera, Ventura, Frazier. Not in that order, but all those guys came in and did their job. The A's gave a valiant effort as well. Chris was 2 for 6 with an RBI. Fuld was 2 for 5. Donaldson 2 for 5, Moss 2 for 5 with those 2 home runs, 5 RBIs as he put up quite the effort in the loss. Reddick was 2 for 4, but it was just too much, just so much offense. Lester pitched 7+ innings, but he allowed 6 earned runs. So the Kansas City Royals win, in an exciting game in extra innings. And the final score is Kansas City 9, Oakland 8 in 12 innings, and the Royals advance to the next round of the playoffs.